Hey, what's going on, guys? So today we're taking a look at a couple Carabiner knives. Interesting. I've had these two for about 2 months or so. I just got this one. So I kind of want to do a little bit of a comparison here and just talk about it in general. There's a ton on the market where essentially we have a knife that's built around a carabiner. The carabiner is the main purpose of it. It can be clipped on something, but there's a knife incorporated into it. There's a ton of different variations where it's mostly carabiner with maybe a blade that pops out. This is mostly knife with essentially a carabiner butt. But we have a couple different ones here. Again, the latest one is a CJRB. I think this is called the Anansi. If I'm wrong, correct me. Then I have two from Ned Foss. The smaller one here is the Owl, and the larger one is the Flamingo. Now, these two from Ned Foss, these are $15 on Amazon. For $15, awesome. This one is more expensive. These sell for $50. Now, I kind of want to compare it because this happens to have a better blade steel. This one is rocking AR RPM 9 from CJRB. I've used it on multiple knives before. It's very proven. Holds a good edge. Definitely an upgrade from the D2 that is on both of the Ned Foss models. So let me open these first to show you. All right. A couple different blade profiles here, of course. The hawkbill blade is awesome. I mean, it bites very deep. Actually, we'll go over the specs real quick as well. So first, this is 1.6 inches on our blade and 1.8 ounces overall. All right, G10 scales on this guy. All right, on the little Owl here, 1.5 inches on our blade, again, D2, right, black coated, and 1.8 ounces. And the Flamingo here, a little bit bigger than the Owl, but also a totally different design. This one is 2.3 inches and D2, and coincidentally, also 2.3 ounces. So I'm going to start off with the Flamingo here. If you notice, the body shape here incorporates the carabiner into what would be a normal handle. All right, or handle shape, I should say, compared to these, where these are almost like carabiners on the end, like a karambit ring. It's very different in how it feels. This feels like a small knife. This feels like maybe like a mini Banter from Civivi, something like that. Very simple design, though. I like the blade profile as well. Ambidextrous thumb studs. It's got jimping on here, which feels really good. There is a blade choil that you can actually use, even with bigger fingers like mine. This feels really good, very easy to use. Liner lock, of course. And then the addition, of course, of the carabiner just makes it easy to clip on things. So you can clip this onto a loop on a bag on the outside if you want. You can clip this onto a belt loop if you want to keep the knife out of your pocket, let's say. Let's say you want to have other things in your pocket. You know, it'd be nice to be able to just clip this to a belt loop, you know, anywhere around your pants, and just have it there in case you need it. It's also the largest of the three. The little Owl here feels comfortable in the hands because of the two finger choils. It feels nice. I do like the texturing in here. Much smaller blade. Still a liner lock. Still has ambidextrous thumb studs. All right. Less cutting edge. Doesn't look as cool to me as the Flamingo. And then we have a big bump here for our carabiner. So the carabiner is almost like an afterthought past the knife. So the finger choils are great, but then this kind of just gets in the way. It's almost like kind of in the way. I wish it was pushed back more, but I do like that the spine is one continuous curve, so it feels good against the palm of the hand. So it's not terribly uncomfortable, just not as comfortable as the Flamingo. And then lastly, the CJRB, this one's the most expensive. It has a better blade steel. This I have to hold. This is almost, it's like a whole different knife itself because I don't get a pinky grip at all, and I don't really have much of that ring finger going on. I want to hold it like this. I want this finger choil here on my pointer finger, and my middle finger is just resting basically on the top portion of that, but the rest is just kind of tucked in. It feels like it's more forward in my grip. The hawkbill blade is nasty. When I hold it like this, like to open a box, that's natural, but most times, with even bigger knives, a lot of times I'll do this kind of pinch grip on the blade and just kind of rip something open real quick. I'm not getting like a full normal, like hard use grip. Does that make sense? So, and this goes for pretty much any knife, big, small, carabiner or not. I pick up a knife, when I open it, a lot of times when I open it, I get this weird like pinch grip on the blade and just use a tip real quick, rip an Amazon box open, whatever we're doing with our knives. When I have hard use, that's when I really kind of hold it how it's supposed to be held. Does that make sense? This is a karambit style, but you can't use this as a ring because obviously you could see it's so small that the blade edge would be exposed to your fingers. Not a good thing. If you tried using it like that, it's just uncomfortable. So, you know, the karambit fans out there, this is not it as far as a ring, essentially. This is really just for clipping it to something. But it is the biggest loop, if that makes sense. So if you want to clip it on something that's, you know, larger straps or something, this might be a better option. The G10 scales are cool. It does give it a warmth and a thickness that feels good in the hand. Like these feel a little bit thinner, of course. And the aluminum scales on these, they're just, I don't know, it's just not as comforting, I guess. This is just nice, grippy G10. It feels good. But, I mean, overall, this is my pick of the three, really because of comfort, size, and price. I mean, $15. This is really cool, but I really think this should be 20 bucks, not $50. Just my opinion. So, yeah, I mean, there's, like I said, there's tons of knives similar to this in the marketplace. The D2 on these Ned Fosses are, again, for $15, completely fine. If you want to steel upgrade the AR RPM9, excuse me, it's a mouthful sometimes, it really is a huge steel upgrade. I mean, that's where you're getting that higher price tag from. This style knife, to me, is a backup knife. I'm going to always have a full-size folder, maybe even a small fixed blade, like a neck knife or something. This is something I would clip to a bag if you're going camping, maybe just like a backup knife. Something, you know, I don't know, in an organizer pouch or something like that. Taking advantage of the carabiner in it to clip it to something as just a backup, that's it. So generally speaking, knives like this, it's not going to be your everyday carry where you just be using it over and over and over again. So blade steel shouldn't matter that much. But if you do end up using something like this as a go-to knife, then you do really want that edge retention. You don't want to have to sharpen it every other use. So that's where you would maybe pay more for something like this. But like I said, tip of the iceberg, there's lots of knives like this in all different configuration styles, blade steels, price tags, you name it. But because I was rocking these two for a while, I wanted to try out something a little more expensive. It's cool, it's just different. It's apples and oranges. I can't really compare them. You're getting more for your money in performance here, but the design is totally subjective to what you like. I'm just saying this feels most traditional to me, and I just like the blade profile. I think it's awesome. And the $15 price tag is pretty sweet in comparison. So that's why I picked this as my favorite among the three. But if I was going to use it over and over and over again, I do like the hawkbill, and I really like the steel upgrade. So I would like this in a hawkbill as well. That'd be cool. Anyway, that's all. Just want to compare a couple of these Amazon finds. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you have an awesome day. Let me know down in the comment section, do you rock a carabiner dedicated folding knife? Interesting. Just wondering. And if you do, is it like your EDC? Or, as suggested, is it something you just have clipped to a bag as a backup? Because you know me, I like backups to backups to backups. And backups for those as well, just in case, because you never know. Should always have a super sharp knife on you, even if it's just like, you know, you can carry a really expensive, nice main folder. But if nothing else, you know, have like a utility knife or a utility blade knife holder. You know what I mean? So you always just have a razor sharp edge. You never know, like in an emergency, your EDC knife, maybe I didn't get a chance to sharpen it this week. It's not a big deal. It's still kind of sharp, you know. You never know if you have to use your knife for an emergency. When you're like purposely just cutting things and having fun with it, that's one thing. But if you're at work and you have a career need for a sharp edge, you really want to make sure you always have a sharp edge. And in the case of like an emergency, like I used a folding knife I had on me to cut a seatbelt off when I flipped the Jeep with my friend. Well, I should say my friend flipped the Jeep that I was inside. We rolled a couple times. I've told the story before. When everything was all said and done, we're upside down. My body weight has the seatbelt completely locked, same with my friend. And I needed my knife to be sharp. And luckily it was. So it was a Gerber Easy Out, if you haven't seen the story. But it was nice and sharp. I kept it sharp, and it worked. It worked fine. So because there was a lot of weight on the bell, that also helped. So as soon as I got the initial cut, it kind of just zipped through like, you know, hot knife through butter. But yeah, I mean, that's what got me out of the vehicle and safe. So it's good. It's good to have a sharp knife. You never know when you're going to need it. Having a knife in the first place is great, but it's got to be sharp. Otherwise, what's the point? So that's all. Hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you tomorrow with a brand new video. Take care.